You in tune to The Butcher's Block. I'm your host, Frank the Butcher, and today is a good day for me because I have a very special guest, a friend of mine, Greg Lucci of Gourmet. Me personally, I've had a long relationship with you, so I understand your past and what you've done, even in a way that people might have worn your work or purchased your work and not realized it. So I just want to touch a little bit on what you do, what your past has been, like who you've worked with. You know, I think as of recently, you're coming out from behind the shadows. You know, you're the brain, you know, the brains, the designer behind Gourmet. But I think that now you're becoming a little bit of the face of Gourmet. And I think, you know, it's kind of cool to let the people know what you've done.
That's a long list because I'm very old.
Well, I know that you've had a long-standing working relationship with Adidas.
Yes.
People might not know of. So touch on that and the David Beckham collection.
I've been freelancing for Adidas for a long time, maybe 20 years.
20 years.
No, maybe not that long. Almost. Maybe
19 years.
Yes.
19 and some change.
I actually got involved with them doing bags and accessories, functional stuff, and then that transitioned into some design stuff and creative marketing stuff. I worked with.
So you didn't start on footwear?
No, I didn't start on footwear. I didn't start on footwear at all. Actually, even way before that, when I started in retail.
Okay.
At the end of all that, it kind of transitioned into a creative thing. I met a lot of people in the industry. So one of the first opportunities was with Adidas, and it was bags and stuff, and it kind of transitioned into. I started to work with a guy named Peter Moore soon after that, who he was a Nike guy. He did the Jordan 1, the Jordan 2. He designed that corporate Adidas logo.
Really?
Did Adidas equipment, and I found myself sitting with him up in Portland, working with some stuff with some athletes.
So you weren't already a traditional, just a footwear designer? Not yet.
At all. Not
you
at
were
all.
Introduced via the Adidas situation?
Yeah, kind of, through the Adidas situation, my knowledge, passion for shoes, obviously. Everything I ever did from a creative perspective came from a functional thing. I was a kid that I did a lot of things. I played sports, I skated, I snowboarded, I was very physical. I did a lot of things, and I never understood why, things didn't work that well, or why they couldn't like look good and work good at the same time. It was like functional product was always like, it looked horrible. That little bridge was intriguing to me, so I tried to always, regardless of what I was working on, make things be able to transition into different environments, but from a functional standpoint.
Now, when you look at a shoe, the normal consumer, sees color, sees material, sees something that can match the outfit. Mm-hmm. Or if they're familiar with the shoe, they might see a comfort that they've known. But when I speak to you about shoes, you look at shoes, you see something else. Like you really see deeper than just your traditional cosmetic, more than just a color.
Yeah. I mean, to me, the fabrics, the colors, everything about the shoe is important, but the way I view all shoes, from the time I see them, whether they're on someone's foot or not, or on a shelf, is by shape. The shape of the shoe, the form of the shoe, the fit of the shoe. Those are all things that catch my eye first. And then, to understand that really well is the best way to actually then design, because once you understand, lasts and shapes and, the way a shoe looks when you wear it, the way it looks on a shelf, the way, the lines about it, the fit, the last, the form.
Mm-hmm. Now, going from a situation where you have, all the resources that you need to create and execute anything you come up with.
Right.
How was that transition to go into Gourmet and develop something that you want, but realizing the limitations of Adidas is not fitting the bill?
Yeah.
And how did you continue to be creative and be progressive with these limitations?
When we started, it was, it was clothing, it was jewelry, it was footwear. It was kind of a trifecta of a bigger ideology that we were trying to put together. And I think, what happened to us was when we did it, we realized like we were creating, those three things: jewelry, the type of clothing that we were doing out of Italy, and the footwear were like three separate markets. And there wasn't, at the time, like a retail establishment really that could showcase
all three.
It was like fine jewelry, American sportswear, but made from like fashion house factories in Italy and sneakers. Like, it was, so we had
three
shops
elements that represented your personality.
Right, which was the ideology of the brand. And
when did you decide, you know what, let's lose everything and just focus on footwear? Was there more traction with footwear?
Yeah, there was definitely more traction with footwear. I think what we were doing with apparel was definitely ahead of the times. The ideology with Gourmet for footwear was just a bigger plan, meaning we wanted to tackle all areas of footwear. We wanted to be functional, we wanted to be athletic. Obviously, we wanted it to be fashion-based, and we wanted our stuff to be more interesting and look better. But, I think it was the height of vulcanized shoes starting to really click. But we on purpose put out things like airbags and, blown outsoles and runners. And, we did the other stuff as well, but we did it because we were kind of trying to say, if we're doing footwear, we're going to do all types of footwear.
It seems like you push a little bit of an experimental thing too all the time.
Sure.
Where the next shoe that you introduce, you push it a little bit.
Yeah.
There was the duck toe boot that pretty much had you pinned. It had it pinned for a winter seasonal thing. You put a duck toe on a sneaker.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You put a duck boot toe on a sneaker.
Obviously, we're from the same area. Duck boots are,
we need them.
But coming from that thinking of like, okay, I know and love that thing for what it is, but that duck boot's good for two things in the winter. You know what I mean? Like, and it's not. So it's like the ideology of that combined with a functional midsole with an airbag unit and a turf cleat bottom, and those are the kind of things where I like to pull from the different worlds and make it better or functional, or like give it a different reason or a different shape or a different look, have it be more wearable with different things or function in a better way. And
what is something that you tried to do that maybe you thought the world wasn't ready for?
I think the last one that I was passionate about doing, even though it didn't sell, but I kind of made the amount of pairs to do it because I felt like it was the model, that the Dignan. The essential concept for that, it's just a ruched bag, it's a mesh shoe underneath, it's on a running sole.
It had a bag over the toe.
Yeah, it was, the actual inspiration was, when you're in the hospital, the ER booties, the things you put over your shoes, the dust bags.
Yeah.
I just thought that look was so cool. I mean, obviously it doesn't look cool as a slip cover, but the idea of refining that and making it, a nice shape and putting a running sole on it, like I felt there was something very functional, and I thought there was something there, and that's where it all derived from. And I love that shoe.
Not gonna quit? Are you gonna reintroduce it?
Yeah, I'm gonna reintroduce it. It's coming back. It's a lot more functional. It's a lot more narrow. The look of that, the feel of that.
So you didn't quit. You didn't give up.
No, I've never given up. I mean, here's the other thing. That's one of the shoes that you send that to a factory, and they're like, like I couldn't even get a sample of that in one season. Things were horrible, and it took a lot of going back there and back and forth to even, I think I worked on that shoe for 3 seasons before it even remotely looked right, because you like anything else,
you
send it to a factory, they know how to make sneakers. Like, you send them something that don't look like a sneaker, for better or worse, there has to be a percentage of your brand or an ideology that is original, and I like to keep that in the line.
That's the core of what Gourmet is.
It doesn't matter
being original.
And if you have a shoe, if you have a shoe that you've had for 3 years and it sells well and people want it in canvas and leather or something more interesting, and that's fine, that's your business. But to continue to at least put out something, even if it's from a smaller percentage, that's just an interesting or a new look, or it's very important to us or to me.
Well, fall Gourmet is about to hit the shops.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
One of my favorite, just to be on record, like one of my favorite models that you guys have is the Rossi.
Yeah.
The shape is amazing. I can't wait to wear it. Check that shoe out. I really think it's a classic. The shape, like you said, the shape, the shoe is just a perfect shoe. So please check that out. And obviously we carry Gourmet on KarmaloopTV, so check it out there. And I thank you for everything.
I appreciate it.
Thank you for your time.
It's good to see you.
Family.
Congrats on your line.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Gourmet, Greg Lucci, Butcher's Block. Peace.